Hey guys, I've got some more card review for you guys. I'm looking at more cards. We're still going to use the garbage, decent, and godlike scale. So keeping it simple. Remember, if you want a in-depth conversational view, we're really talking depth about cards and what we think that we're going to play. Make sure to check out me and Jay Alexander. We're going to be doing a card review, I believe, Wednesday next week. So a week from today, the 25th. A week from today, the 24th. So if you're looking to see that, it should be the day after. That's what we're planning on doing. We're going to have an official announcement on Twitter. But for now, let's just get right into it. So first we got Curtis Ashfollet. Attack the left and rightmost minions. Any minions outcast immune this turn. On the surface, this looks really good. You know, it's like, oh, I get to, when it's on the outcast, I get to kill 2 minions, and this doesn't die. But I think practically, I don't think this card's going to see play. It doesn't really slot it naturally, and when it's not immune, outcast is absolutely garbage. It's a 3/4 rush minion that you can't even choose which minions it attacks. So when it is outcast, and if this were to become popular, your opponent could easily play around it. They could do 4 health minions, or it could do put its minions that doesn't want to die in the middle. Lots of things it could do. And 4 mana is kind of an awkward spot for Demon Hunter, so I'm going to go with garbage. I don't think this card sees any play. Oh. Next we got Fan Beastmaster. Death Rattle, summon a minion that costs 4 or less from your hand. Death Rattle minion. When I saw this, I thought this was a Hunter card, and I thought this card was great. And then I saw it was a Demon Hunter card. And this card is really interesting in that if this were a neutral card, this would probably be godlike. Just being able to, you can summon a free Death Rattle minion. For free is so much stats. It can summon itself. That's really good. But I just don't think Demon Hunter has the synergy. So this is a really, the value of this card, like if you already had a Death Rattle deck, having this card in is really good. If you get a powerful 4-mana Death Rattle, so this card is very synergy dependent, and it just doesn't mess with Demon Hunter. Like I just don't think Demon Hunter is going to get a bunch of Death Rattle. So like Blizzard's going to have to print a really powerful 4-mana neutral Death Rattle for this card to be good. So I just don't think, it just doesn't work with the Demon Hunter style. I just can't see a Demon Hunter deck, right? Like I said, if this were another class, if this were a neutral, I might even put Godlike. But I'm going to go with garbage. I just don't think this sees play in Demon Hunter. So next we got Morshine Elite. Battle cry if your hero attack this turn. Summon a copy of this. On the surface, like when your hero attacks, that's pretty good. That being said, these kind of cards, I believe already is the secret card for Mage. That's 4 mana. That's this without taunt. And I think just putting big amounts of stats on 5, 5 tends to be already a very conflicted. You have to have a weapon. So you have to have equipped a weapon on 3, and you have to save to charge. All these things that you don't really want to do. I just don't think this card ever sees play unless they get buffed up massively. And then it's just like, I still have to have a weapon. Ooze is a thing. Ooze always seems to be in the meta, no matter how much stuff. So I think this is garbage. I think this never sees play. Sigil of Flame. At the start of your next turn, deal 3 damage to all minions. Really interesting card. It's Doomsayer, but guaranteed, and it doesn't kill everything. It does 3 damage. I'm really not sure with this card. I could see this card not seeing play. I could see this card seeing tons of play. A real great way to use this card is as a OTKDH, you play this before your scroll turn. Because often, as your opponent, you're trying to pressure into their scroll turn. So you could play this on turn 4 with coin, or on turn 5 without coin. And then your opponent plays stuff, and they have to play only things that have 4 or more health, and even then, they get damage. So it's a great way to set up for your scroll turns. So I could definitely see this seeing play. I could also see it not make the cut, but definitely has a lot of building potential. So if with a powerful late game Demon Hunter win condition, which they already quite frankly have, I could definitely see this working. So I'm going to go with decent here. Barak Kodobane. Battlecry. Draw a 1, 2, and 3 cost spell. For Hunter, a class that normally has horrible draw, You could do Demon Companion, you could do a Secret, you could do Animal Companion. Very easy to put 3 spells in your deck. I'm not sure if Animal Companion is staying off the top of my head, but very easy to get this in. Fits naturally in. So I'm not sure if this will be enough to carry. We'll see where Hunter goes, because Hunter pretty much hasn't had a great archetype this year. It had Quest Hunter last year, other than Highlander Hunter. It had Quest Hunter last year, but with Leroy going away, that deck just became really bad. Because Leroy is the finisher. You went Leroy, Unleash the Hounds, and then Hero Power. So I think, but that being said, this card as independent, it's hard for me to imagine, unless you're doing some weird all beast synergy or something like that. It's hard for me to imagine a Hunter deck not running this that has any spells at all. So I'm gonna go with Godlike. This card's really, really good. Draw 3, tutor is just insane. So very, very good card. Light Shower Elemental. Taunt, Death Rattle, restore 8 health to all friendly characters. This does all. It could be in the right deck. Could be very strong as a defensive card. Priest already ran Kartut in Res and Grave Roots are both rotating, but I think Death Rattle, heal cards, minions at 6 have historically seen a lot of play, and at 5. So it's a thing if you can play this down against an aggressive deck. Or you can do it with even more minions. So let's say you have a bunch of damage minions and your opponent's just going face, ignoring board. You'll plop this down. Now as soon as they kill it, if they, let's say they're very minion, they don't have as many ways to get through the taunt, they kill the taunt, but then not only their face gets healed, but all their minions get healed. So, is this card broken or godlike? No way. But, and do I expect it to see play currently? No, I think Grave Runes and Resurrect are going away. So I think the Res Priest archetype, a lot of the synergy for this deck card is rotating. That being said, I think just the objective power level of the card is decent. So I'm going to go with pretty decent. I could see this being play eventually, though I would definitely not be surprised if it didn't see play for a while and then the right synergies came out or the meta became aggressive enough. So decent, but kind of also meta dependent and really reliant on the deck around it. So, but a nice healing tech card. Horde Operative. Battle Cry. Copy your opponent's secrets and put them into play. This is really interesting because usually you'd rather just destroy your opponent's secrets, but this has better stats than most secret keep destroying cards. So if you compare it to something like even in Wild, the Secret Eater or the 5/4, I think something operative. What is it called? I'm blanking. It is called, cheating guys if you couldn't figure it out. It is called SI7 Infiltrator. There we go. SI7 Infiltrator has more attack, but it's got a good stat line. So at the end of the day, if your opponent has high value secrets, and secrets a large part of the meta, this could be a good card. This is a potentially strong tech card. Now, will secrets be enough that this is good? Doubt it. So I doubt this ever sees play, but I can't. This is definitely pretty decent. But it's whether it sees play or not is completely dependent on the meta around it, not itself. So if every deck is running secrets, yeah, this card's going to see play. If no decks are running secrets, no, this card's not going to see play. So, like I said, not very. It's really just an equation of X amount of secrets. Does this card see play? But I think this deck is actually better in a more defensive value deck than an aggressive deck. So an aggressive deck would rather just get rid of secrets, where the defensive value deck, if I steal a counter spell and a flame ward, that could be really good or something like that. So or maybe a bunch of rogue secrets. I steal plagiarize. And then they steal back. That could get ridiculous really quickly because both players would be stealing each other's plagiarizes. But definitely a card that I think better in a value deck than an aggressive deck. Condemn. This is another one of these upgradable cards. Deal 1 damage to all enemy minions. And this is the new Holy archetype, which is a kind of spell. So it's a 2-mana deal 1 to all enemy minions. And when I see this card, I just see there's so many cards that do this better. But they don't get the upgrade. Holy Nova does 2 to all enemy minions and heals you. Breath does 2 to all minions. You have You have to, are you really going to be looking to upgrade this to the full rank? I don't think so. So let's see. We have here's the condemn rank 3. So I think this card is utter garbage. I'd read there's Holy Ripple as well, which also goes face. That might be rotating, but bottom line, I think this card is trash. I think it never sees play. It's only relevant because you'll get it off renew. So very bad card. Garbage. Next we got Tame Beast. Somebody 2/2 beast with rush. Upgrade when you have 5 mana. It's just another card. So that I just think is garbage. Like it's just why would I play this? Why would I really want as a hunter to spend 2 mana after waiting till 5 to play 2/2 rushes? Hunter is a good deck card that struggles value. The only reason I can see this play is because Hunter needs cards to tutor out with the 5 mana card. So, but anyways, I'm gonna go with garbage. I just think this is really bad. Oh, it upgrades. Oh, okay, to a 4/4 into a 6/6. That's a little better, but I'm still going with garbage. So, yoink. Discover a hero power and set its cost to 0. Swap back after 2 uses. So this is really interesting. But I think what's interesting, it's a very interesting card to evaluate. Value-wise, you're getting slightly efficient. Like you can get 2 pings with the mana. You can upgrade your damage with the Druid one. Let's see, you already have a weapon equipped as a rogue. You can use it to draw 2. 1 mana, draw 2, take 4. But in a value matchup could be really good. That being said, it is very low value. It's interesting. Will it want it? Like it already would not want to give. Oh, you can also get so you can get Demon Hunter, so you can use it to get additional attack. So like I said, low value, but you also could use it as burn. So very flexible. So I'm really curious. Will this card see play? I'm not sure. I think it's very low value, but it also is a low mana cost card. And Rogue has so many cards, like so much insane card draw with Secret Passage and stuff. So, and with the current Penflinger builds, like maybe this is good enough because of Penflingers. So I definitely want to go with decent. I don't think this is broken by any means, but I could also see it seeing no play. But it's an interesting card that definitely, I think, could see play. All right, no fin can stop us. Give your minions a +1/+1. Give your Murlocs an extra +1/+1. You compare it to Power of the Wild or Blessing of Ancients. If your deck runs all Murlocs, this card is really, really good. So this card is obviously it also gives your minions +1/+1. So you don't have to be a pure Murloc deck. You could have something else. So in a world where you're playing Murlocs, very good card. Will this be enough to put Murloc Shaman on the map in a world of incredibly good Rogue single target removal? I'm doubting it. Rogue, just like you play Underbelly Angler, I know that card's rotating, but it just gets killed. So Murlocs are about spiraling, and just single target removal, so freaking good right now. So it's harder for the Murloc decks to spiral, even this. So will you be able to get on board with Murlocs? Now, that being said, with what's the 2 mana card? The card that makes me think this will definitely see play is, I'm so blank on names. Well, actually, I know I can just go to the Crab Rider. So Crab Rider is a Murloc. It's neutral. You play that and that on 2, and then Crab Rider is massively threatening. So you could even just buff it up for 3 mana, and you have another Murloc. So Crab Rider. So we'll see if Murlocs are good enough in Shaman. I feel that Shaman doesn't have the synergy right now, but maybe Shaman gets a few more powerful Murlocs, and all of a sudden it's got a strong Murloc deck. So like I said, this card's definitely very good in a Shaman Murloc deck, but will it be enough to carry a Shaman Murloc deck without additional synergy? Not sure. I'm personally doubting it. So I'm going to go with pretty decent, but realistically, do I think it'll see much play? Potentially no. Royal Rig Ambusher. Battle Cry, deal 2 damage. If this enters your hand this turn, deal 4. If it always enters your turn, it would probably be pretty good. But One, it deals 2, and I think I'd rather just have like something like SI7 agent. I feel this kind of card doesn't work very well in Rogue. I feel this card would probably be better in another class, but as a Rogue, it just doesn't want these big clunky cards. So I'm gonna go with Garbage. I think it's never sees play. Total Pack Runner, after you cast a spell, summon a 1/1 Hyena with Rush. So this is going with this kind of like spell archetype. If we get a bunch of spells, but we also have minions, and we need draw. So it's hard for me to imagine this being good. It is a 2/3, but like just Hunter doesn't have 0 mana spells, so it can't do like this innervate 1 mana spell. I think it's just gonna have a hard time getting these hyenas out and getting value out of it. So I'm gonna go with this as Garbage. I don't think this is play. I just maybe in Druid this would be a good card, but in Hunter just seems like a really bad card. But take it back. This would be a broken card. This would be a godlike card in Druid. So this is another thing, a card that is very dependent on synergies. I'm gonna put that out there. But in Hunter, same thing with that kind of Demon Hunter card. This card just doesn't seem good enough in the class. So unless it gets really powerful synergies, I just don't see this being good. So I'm going, like I said, going with Garbage. Living Seed, rank 1. Draw a beast, reduces cost by 1. Upgrades when you have 5 mana, and then it draws a beast which is cost by 2, and then draw a beast which is cost by 3. End of the day, tutoring with mana discount seems reasonable to me. Very similar to this card. Very much reminds me of the Priest card that is being run right now. Insight. It gets corrupted and it reduces by 2, so that's kind of like the equivalent of playing a bigger thing. Usually you play that on 4 or 5, at least if it's corrupted. So very powerful, similar power. Druid not as much as needing the card draw, but the tutoring effect could be useful. So if a Druid has a powerful beast it wants to play and tutor out, now it can and get it discounted. So I'm definitely going with pretty decent. This is could be quite useful, but like I said, another card very dependent on the cards built around it. Flurry, rank 1. Freeze a random enemy minion. Upgrades when you have 5 mana. So this card is a freeze card, and the reason this card might be good is because of Mazaki Mage. Mazaki is not rotating. Neither is Mazaki is not rotating. Also, Incanter's Flow not rotating, but Sorcerer's Apprentice is rotating. So because of that, Mazaki Mage might not be good, but this just slots so naturally into that deck. You go Auctioneer, you freeze their board. That seems pretty good. So I don't think this is that great, but like it just 0 mana cards in decks that run Auctioneer get C play. So I'm gonna go with pretty decent. I bet this sees play because people are gonna still play Mazaki Mage. People just love that deck. So next we got Mark of the Spike Shell, giving minion +2/+2 if it has taunt at a Cabbage of your hand. So this is kind of for a taunt minion is kind of similar to Strength the Hand of a Doll, where you play something and you get more value. Could be used to get more. You also could use this with Ironbark, 2 mana, but becomes 0 mana at 7 mana crystals, give a minion +1/+3. So you could use it on a minion and then copy it. So I'm not really sure, but the fact that there's some fancy build around stuff. This is almost Garbage because it's still not quite as good as Hand of a Doll, but maybe you use it in taunt. You maybe I don't know. There's some interesting things I think you could pull off with this. So I'm not willing to quite say it's Garbage. So I'm gonna go with pretty decent. If you want to duplicate a card, you can make it pretty easy to do. Like for example, another fancy play you could do with this is if you play Forest Ward and Omo, and then you taunt Forest Ward Omo up for 0, and then you play this on it, and you can get another Forest Ward and Omo, and play that again. So there's just some fancy plays you could definitely do. This is one of those cards that I think will be more likely a creative card, but probably Garbage. But I just don't have this card intrigues me, so I'm not quite ready to put it in the Garbage category. So I'm gonna go with pretty decent. Priest Anch. If you restored health this turn, gain +3/+3. Looks cool at first until you realize these big, clunky, predictable taunt minions that you're going to need realistically 7 mana to get the +3/+3 because you're going to hero power your face. Maybe you can find a fancy way to pull it off. But these cards just are never good. I think this is garbage, so I think this will never see play. Maybe a great arena card, so I'm gonna go with garbage. Blood Shark Bristleback, Lifesteal, Battlecry. If your deck contains 10 or fewer cards, deal 6 damage a minion. This kind of reminds me of the warrior card that is actually still around that just nobody sees anymore. Omega Devastator. If you have 10 mana, crystals deal damage a minion. But Lifesteal for Warlock is huge. So the fact that I can use the kill a minion while developing a 3/3 and it gives me Lifesteal on board, this card looks really, really good. Now, the 10 or fewer cards, it takes a little while, but Warlock does draw through their deck quickly. So let's think. You start off with 1, 2, 3 cards, and you draw one on 10 turns. So on turn 10, you'll on average drawn 10. You'll have 10 cards, so you'll have about 17 left. So if you've tapped 7 times or done this, this would be ready to go. So still pretty late game. Not very valuable in a kind of earlier Warlock. So very slow card to get the maximum value out of it, but a card that I just definitely find interesting. And also has synergy with our next card that I think is bad, but I'm going to go with pretty decent. I definitely, the 10 or fewer cards makes it hard to get, but the powerful, being able to kill a minion while healing 6, while developing, very strong effect. Remember, guys, we want to develop our tempo while we're moving theirs. This develops a 3/3 with lifesteal, removes theirs, and heals us. So everything we want from a card, with one pretty major condition, unfortunately, but still, I think pretty decent. All right, next we got Soul Rend. This is deal 5 damage to all minions, destroy a card in your deck for each killed. So I guess the idea with this is that you can use it and mill cards in your deck, which makes your Blood Shark Bristleback work faster. There's another thing I realized. You could also play Ticketus, not corrupted, to make this work faster too. So interesting idea. I think independently this card is garbage because while it is a good removal, like destroying a card in your deck for each killed is really bad. Any control matchup, this is really bad. Now against aggro, this card is really good. So dealing with a deal 5 to all minions for 4, it's insanely strong. But milling 7 cards from your deck, the aggro deck might even play, like if it's a rogue or something, they can just win in value. Or so if you're playing against now lackeys are rotating, but if you're playing against a lackey-based rogue deck, this card would be garbage because you would clear the board and you'd win the battle, but you'd lose the war. So I think this card is garbage, but maybe somebody can find some way to pull it off with some weird mill your own deck synergy. I don't know. Nomi is going to be gone, but still an interesting card, and maybe someone can build something the right way. Has been Roam. Whenever you cast a shadow spell that costs 1 or more, add a copy that costs your hand that costs 0. So you can play a card and then a shadow card, which is these new Warlock spells. I'm not sure how many of the cards are shadow, so it's hard for me to completely evaluate, but the idea of just playing a spell and getting another copy that costs 0 can be very good. Just doubling the value. This is another of the cards kind of like Hanar, where it just gives you tons and tons of sort of bonus value on your cards. That being said, it's very easy to kill, so realistically, you're probably only ever getting 1 off of it. So that being said, it's right on the. It's maybe if ridiculous amounts of powerful shadow spells come out, and you can use this to discount a bunch of cards to do some OTK. A lot of creative deck building you could potentially make with this card. But that being said, I'm not there yet. It has very bad stats, but the value is very strong. So, but you also have to play it this turn because you're realistically only using this with up to a 7 mana card and getting a 0 mana duplicate. That is strong, but you're probably only going to get 1 use out of this because as a 1/3, it's incredibly easy to kill. So I'm going to go with decent. I think this card never sticks. So unless you're doing some crazy 1-turn kill with it that somebody figures out, I don't see this being more than decent. But there are a lot of 1-mana spells that would be nice to use this with, a philosophy, or you use it with a philosophy, or with a demonic studies, or immortal coil. Like, you can really kind of get some value with these 1-mana spells. But Warlock also has a lot of bad 1-mana spells, so it's not quite the rogue card that. This card obviously better with 2-mana spells, but Warlock also doesn't struggle with value as is. So this card's too cool and has too much potential to be rated as garbage. But it's definitely, if you're thinking this card is just absolutely broken, I think you're wrong. Anyways, next we got Grimoire Sacrifice, destroy for any million, deal 2 damage to all minions. These kind of cards, Warlock has played so many cards that sacrifice minions. They almost always see play. This one is much better in a control deck. Like, imagine you did this with Possessed Lackey back in the day. That summon a demon. If it was 5 mana, you do this, you could destroy your opponent's board and summon a Void Lord. So I'm going to go with pretty decent. This card, if there's something that needs sacrificing, this card will see play. You can play it in an Egg Warlock deck. You play the egg down, then you destroy it, and you clear the board. Like, that's really good. So I really like this card. Not going to say godlike, but definitely a solid card. Veteran War Medic. After you cast a holy spell, summon a 2/2 medic with lifesteal. So, we can compare this to Violet Teacher, which is a neutral. This card is definitely really good. But that being said, it's only holy spells. Paladin. I don't know if Librams will be holy spells. That's something that's interesting, because you brand this in a Libram Paladin. The fact that you could go Libram Wisdom twice, and you'd all of a sudden get, or a few times, and get this giant board, that could be real nice. But that being said, I just don't think there's enough 0-mana spells. So I'm not sure on Libram Wisdom if it has enough synergy. But obviously Violet Teacher has seen play, and this is card sort of with the holy spell caveat. If you already had a bunch of spells, would be very, very good. I'm also not sure if secrets are going to be holy spells, so I'm not exactly sure on that. But that being said, the effect is certainly powerful. So will the synergy be there? I doubt it. So I want to say garbage, but yeah, let's just be fun. I'm going to go with garbage. I just don't see this seeing play. Unless Libram Wisdoms are 0. Maybe you can pull it up. All right. Invigorating Sermon. Give +1/+1 to all minions in your hand, deck, and battlefield. And I think I see later that we have a card that lowers the cost of all these holy cards. But you compare this to Survival of the Fittest. Very weak. But it's pretty much like a mini Survival of the Fittest. Card's value, Paladin historically is a lot more, runs out of value a lot easier. Mike, what kind of Paladin deck is willing to have a complete blank of a turn 4, or so ahead on early turns to give all its minions +1/+1? Keleseth would do it with your deck, but it would also develop a 2/2 at the price of 2 drop cards, yes, but when I see this card, I just think it's garbage. So I think this card's really bad. So I'm going to go with garbage. All right, this is Cariel Rome. Rush Divine Shield. Whenever this attacks, reduce the cost of holy spells in your hand by 1. So it can reduce Invigorating Sermon. It's kind of a similar power level to things like Restless Mummy. Yeah, it can't get the double hit, but it does not die ever for the first hit. So I'm gonna go with pretty decent. It might be godlike, but I'm not sure if like all the holy spell discounts is gonna be that useful. But it's just a solid rush minion defensive. So I think it's just overall pretty solid card. We'll definitely see play, but will it be enough to carry Paladin or change the archetype? I don't know. Cabbage Stormpike, really interesting card. After a friendly beast attacks, summon a beast from your deck that costs 1 or less. So, or costs 1 less. Sorry, not 1 or less. So you can play, if you had a 7 if you had all charge minions, which are going away, but you get a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 charge minion. And this is part of the reason why they have to rotate. They have to rotate Tundra Rhino, because you just play this guy with Tundra Rhino, and then all your minions would charge, and you would summon just a 4, 3, 2, 1, and all go face. It would be insane. So they obviously got rid of Tundra Rhino for that reason. That being said, you run a bunch of rush minions, or you have some other rush giving effect potentially, and this would just summon out. It could summon out a rush minion, and then that minion could summon out a mission minion. So and very good stat line. So I think this card is really good. I'm gonna go. It's a low godlike, but I'm gonna go with the godlike. Feels like there's a lot of potential for this card. And beasts, there is Dire Frenzy being put in the back of the deck, so Hunter seems to be going in this direction of beasts. So I think this card will definitely be good. And last, Barden, Dawngrass, Battlecry, freeze all enemy minions. If they're already frozen, deal 4 to them instead. So this is like a 4-mana Frost Nova. By the way, Frost Nova is rotating, and it's just better than Frost Nova because you get to develop a 3/3. Now, sometimes you'd rather just have 3 mana, but Frost Nova is a very valuable thing, especially with all these things like with cards out there like Raz, Frost Whisperer. You freeze. Oh, sorry. You can freeze their board and then go Raz the next turn. So you can freeze a board. Maybe you have a discounted spell minion from Primordial Studies, and then you put that bam, 2 damage to everything, and they're in a spot where they can't do their value trades, so their minions are just stuck there waiting to get Raz. So I think this card's very, very good. I'm going to go with Godlike. I think every mage archetype will run this card because it's just good in everything. Which is a very good card. It's very good to freeze your opponent's minions. And the fact you can do them all, and if they're frozen, if you have extra synergy, I don't even think you need this deal 4 to be good. I think it's good enough as is. But you add that on top of it, you have a little extra value in certain situations. So very strong card. Anyways, that's all the cards and analysis I got for you guys. Hope you guys enjoy. Once again, the next Wednesday, the 24th, me and Jay Alexander should be doing our analysis. I'm gonna have on Twitter full list. We go much more depth. So hope see you guys there and enjoy.